In this video we'll show you how we can create contours on this imported DXF file. So I'm in the CAD system right now. Creating a contour for the outside shape is fairly straightforward, but for the two internal ones here we need to do something a wee bit different if we want to make them a pocket. So the first thing I need to do is use the intersect command with split items to split the vertical line where it hits the angled line, so that we have three line segments. Now I can use the line parallel to create a line which is at an offset to that line, and now I can trim those lines up such that I can create a shape here which can be area cleared without leaving any corner rads. So I go back to intersect with clip items. Clip is a term for trimming and extending, so if they need to be trimmed or extended, it'll do it in a single operation. Okay, I'll leave the other side for now because I'll do a slightly different routine on that. Okay, so we've got the extra lines drawn, so now we do to create the contours. The datum point is set down here, which I guess is okay. If it's not, we can move it using the NC datum command here. So we'll start off by creating our contour, give it a line thickness just so we can see it. We'll give it a depth. Okay, so what that does is that it gets to the end of this span, and obviously it can't go to the next span because there's maybe a gap or something, so we'll tell it to follow this line, and it tells us that there is a very small gap there, but that will complete it. Now we do the same thing here, and now we do the same thing here. Okay, so that's that contour created. Now we'll do the same thing on this contour here, make it a different depth. Okay, so that's created that. Now what we'll do is we'll create a contour which is an open contour here. So if I start from there, I uncheck this box, and when I do that I need to tell it the end point of the contour. So that's created an open contour. So if we then file and save this file away, now we take that through into machining, check on our tool change position here, all looks okay. So we define our first tool. Let's have a 1/4 inch tool, set the spindle speed and the feed rate, and then we use the area clearance command, choose the contour with the select icon, and then the one option you may want to do is under the options tab here is to change your overlap settings and maybe machine out from the center. Okay, so that's created the pocketing command for that shape there. Now when it comes on to this one here, we've got an open contour, so we'll use a slightly different technique. We'll use the go round command on this contour here. I want the tool to start out here and I want it to go past the end, so I'll use the approach option and I'll use a parallel and give it a distance which is greater than the tool diameter, and the same thing with runoff, parallel. Go back to contours, we want to offset the tool to the right. Now that tool won't clear out all of that, so if I give it a finishing allowance, okay, so you can see that the tool is not quite overlapping itself there, so we go back here and give it a slightly bigger finishing allowance and then run that. Okay, so that tool will start from here, go in, cut along, cut back, but it will overlap itself, so there won't be anything left in the middle. Now we can do another go round command. We can either cut and paste the one we've got there, we can right click to copy and right click again to paste. So we've got a copy of that, so everything is as we want it, but now we just take the finishing allowance off and run that. So we've now got two paths. So we've got two different techniques to machine the pocketing features. Now we might use a different tool or the same tool. Let's use a different tool and do a tool change, and then just go around the outside of that contour. Okay, so if we then simulate that, go into the machine tool simulator for the vertical mill, leave all the options as they are, and that just loads the simulator software. The first time you do this, when you run the session, it loads the software and it takes a few seconds, but after that it gets quicker. So that's a simulator showing a piece of stock material and the tool. Video controls at the top here, so if we simply run the tool, and if we speed that up, okay, that's our shape cut. Now when we're doing any of these operations, of course, if we close down the simulator and just exit, we can always go back into any of these operations here and set the cut depth so that instead of taking a single cut, it'll take multiple cuts. Okay, so that's how you do that.